guys, welcome to Maximum Zen Yoga. I just got back from a run this morning and it's so beautiful outside. I figured what a perfect time to do a morning practice. This is just going to bring space into your body all over, and hopefully you will have a wonderful rest of your day. This is great to practice in the morning or in the middle of the day or even in the evening, but I'm practicing in the morning today. So when you're ready, jump onto your mat and let's get started.
We'll start today's practice in a comfortable seated position. So as you settle in here, allow the body to relax, bringing your attention inwards, settling into your seat. Start to bring the mind into the body, noticing any sensations you might be feeling, or noticing any thoughts you might be holding on to, allowing them to melt away. In today's practice, we will be using the lotus mudra. So the lotus flower grows out of the muddy bottom of a pond, and it blooms on the surface. And it is a symbol of light and beauty emerging from the darkness. Let's bring hands to heart center. Take a full deep breath in, and then allow your fingers to part, keeping your pinky finger and your thumb fingers together, so creating the lotus mudra with the hands. Imagining what beauty and light means to you. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, release your hands. Move into tabletop position. Let's flow through cat-cow. Exhale as you round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. And then moving with the breath on the inhale, lift the gaze, drop the belly, pull your heart forward. Exhale to round through the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, pull your heart forward, feeling the opening in the chest. Exhale to round through the spine. And inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Come back to center. Step the knees so they're as wide as the mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Send the hips all the way back, moving into wide-legged child's pose, allowing your forehead to rest on the mat. So taking this moment to surrender into the earth, releasing any tension in the hips and the shoulders, and breathing full, deep, steady breaths. On your next inhale, round the spine, come forward. Bring the knees to hip width distance. Tuck the toes under. Start to lift the hips into downward facing dog. So if this is your first down dog of the day, maybe bending one knee at a time, pedaling out the feet, and easing into the hips, creating some space. Also waking up the hamstrings. Bend the knees, look forward, and step to the top of the mat. Fold forward, keeping a bend in the knees if you need. And we'll inhale to halfway lift and exhale to fold. Bend the knees, inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. Bring hands down through heart center and pause here. Closing the eyes if you'd like to, and bring your hands into the lotus mudra, keeping the pinky and the thumb connected. And take this moment to set an intention for your day, using the symbol of light and beauty, holding that symbol in the palms of your hands. As you inhale, start to press your lotus flower up towards the sky. And as you exhale, release your hands down beside you. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift. And as you exhale, plant the hands and we'll step both feet back into high plank. Drop the knees and lower down. We'll lift the heart into baby cobra, pull the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, move through tabletop into downward facing dog. On your next inhale, look forward and step to the top of the mat. Bend the knees. Inhale, float the arms all the way up to the sky. Interlace the fingers and keep the index fingers pointed towards the sky. Bring the big toes to touch. The heels can be slightly parted. And find length through the spine as you inhale, reaching up, and exhale, reach over to the right. Keep the biceps glued to the ears. And feel the length down the side body as you reach up and over. Keep breathing. Come back to center. Find length through the spine, and reaching over to the left. Continue to breathe. Keep your biceps glued to the ears. Feel the length down the right side body. Come back to center and switch the grip on your hands. So bringing the opposite thumb on top and then reaching up again and reaching over to the right. So keeping length through the spine. Feel the space down the side body. Coming back to center and exhale, reaching over to the left. Keeping the biceps glued to the ears. And coming back to center. Bring hands down through heart center. Sit down and back. Keep squeezing the thighs together. Find length through the spine. Inhale. Reach the crown of the head towards the sky. Bring your left hand to the outer edge of the right knee. And bring your right hand down onto the low back as you twist over to the right. Keeping length in the spine. And a gentle tuck in the tailbone. Bring your gaze up towards the sky, if that's comfortable, on the back of the neck. Slowly come back to center and keep the hips sinking low. Hands can be at heart center. And we'll bring the right hand to the outer edge of the left knee, and the left hand comes to the low back as you twist over to the left. Keep sinking the hips low, squeeze the knees together. Find length through the spine and continue to breathe. Inhale, come back to center, straighten out the legs and fold forward. Inhale, float the arms all the way up. And exhale, bring hands down through heart center. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands on the mat and step your left foot back. Drop the left knee to the mat and find your low lunge. Start to lift the heart, finding length into the spine and sinking the hips towards the earth. If it's not available for you to reach your hands down onto the floor, you can always bring your hands up onto your right thigh. And then we'll release the hips back, straightening out the right leg. Lift your right toes towards the sky. Getting a nice hamstring stretch to the back of the right leg. Again, it's important here to keep length through the spine. And think about bringing your belly towards your thigh. And just stopping whenever you feel a stretch. Come forward into low lunge and step your right foot to the edge of the mat. So coming into our lizard posture here. If you'd like more of an opening in the right hip, you can come down onto your forearms. And if that's not available to you, you can just stay up on your hands, listening to your body, whatever works for you today. And breathing into the space. Inhale all of that fresh, cleansing oxygen. And exhale as you let it go. If you're on your forearms, come back up to the hands and walk your right foot back to center. Plant your left hand onto the mat and reach your right arm up towards the sky, twisting over to the right. Continue to breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Feel the opening in the chest. And release your right hand to the mat. And then we'll switch over to the other side, planting your right hand onto the inner edge of the foot. Reach up and over to the left. Feel the opening in the chest and the heart. Reaching towards the sky. And then start to reach back with your left hand. Bend your left knee, and if it's available to you, grabbing onto the left foot. If it's not available to you to grab onto your foot, you can always use a strap here. Breathing into that stretch down the front of the left thigh, feeling the space in the quadricep. Release your foot, come back to center. Tuck your left toes under and step back into high plank. Drop the knees and lower down. Inhale into baby cobra. Exhale, move through tabletop and lift the hips into downward facing dog. Take a full deep breath here. Inhale, float the right toes to the sky, bend your right knee, and start to stack the right hip on top of the left. Keep grounding down equally through both palms, opening up the side body and the hips. Bring the right leg back to center and release it to the mat. Take a full deep breath in down dog. Look forward, step to the top of the mat. And inhale, float the arms to the sky. Bringing hands down through heart center and pause. Bring the hands into lotus mudra. Close the eyes. Come back to your intention at the beginning of class, imagining what light and beauty means to you. As you inhale, float the arms towards the sky. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Plant the hands and step the right foot back. Drop your knee to the mat. Come into your low lunge. Lifting the heart, find length through the spine. And if it's not available to you to keep your hands on the mat, you can always bring your hands to the left thigh. Reconnecting to the breath, feel the sensations in the body, and allow your hips to sink low. We'll move the hips back, straightening out the left leg. Lift your left toes towards the sky and stopping whenever you feel a stretch down the left leg. So again, we want to keep the length in the spine. Think about bringing your belly towards your thigh. Being mindful of the low back. If you do feel any pinching or tightness here, ease off the stretch a little bit. Walk the hands forward and then move your left foot all the way to the edge of the mat. Bring both hands to the inside of the foot. We'll come into our lizard posture. If it's available to you and you'd like to come deeper, making your way onto your forearms. Otherwise, just staying up on the hands. And as we hold, inhaling the breath into the hip area, feeling the stretch. And keeping your attention in the present moment. Whenever that feels complete for you, walk your left foot back to center. We'll come into our twist. Plant the right hand on the mat as you reach your left arm up towards the sky, twisting over to the left. Bring your gaze up towards your hand or the sky or whatever's most comfortable on the back of the neck. Keep breathing as you reach higher. Feel the opening in the chest. Release your left hand to the mat, moving over to the other side. Bring your left hand to the inner edge of the foot and reach up and over to the right. Bending your right knee, grab onto the inner edge of the right foot and start to feel the stretch down the right quadricep. Again, you can use a strap if it's not available to you to grab onto the foot. And breathing into the space. Release your right foot to the mat and come back to center. Tuck your toes under, lift the knee, and step back into high plank. Lower down through chaturanga and inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the left toes to the sky. Bend your left knee and start to stack your left hip on top of your right hip. Keep both hands equally grounded into the earth. Keep breathing here, feeling the space you're creating throughout the body. When that feels complete, bring your left foot back to center. Look forward, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Release your hands into Lotus Mudra, closing the eyes, embodying light and beauty. Seeing the light emerge from the darkness. On your next inhale, reach your arms towards the sky and release the light and beauty all over you. Inhale, float the arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands, step back into high plank. Keep the core strong as you exhale, lower down through chaturanga and inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left toes towards the sky. Look forward and bring the left knee behind the left wrist, dropping the right leg all the way down. Untuck your right toes. Sit up nice and tall, sending your hips towards the earth. And then walking the hands forward. So coming into our pigeon pose. This is a pose of surrender and letting go. Allow the hips to start to sink towards the earth and open up, feeling the space created in the hips. And allow your forehead to rest somewhere in front of you, maybe on stacked fists or forearms, wherever is available to you. And breathing deeply, inviting all of the fresh oxygen into the body. And really taking these moments to surrender and let go. When that feels complete for you, walk the hands back to center, tuck your right toes under and step back into downward facing dog. Moving into the other side, inhale, float the right toes to the sky. Look forward and bring your right knee behind the right wrist. Release your left leg to the mat. Sitting up nice and tall, send your hips towards the earth, and then fold your torso forward, releasing your forehead somewhere in front of you, whether it's all the way onto the mat or on stacked fists or forearms. Surrendering into this posture, feel the opening in the right hip. Noticing if any intense sensations start to come up for you. If they do, imagine inhaling light, sending it to those spaces of tightness. And exhaling, release that tension, letting it go. When this feels complete, walking the hands back up to center, tuck your left toes under and step back into downward facing dog. Come forward, drop the knees down. We'll come all the way up onto our knees for a heart opening. So bring the hands down to the low back. Knees should be at hip width distance. Squeeze your glutes and start to lift your heart up towards the sky as you reach up and lean back. Keep pulling the shoulder blades and elbows together. And keep breathing as you reach the heart towards the sky. Protect the low back by squeezing the glutes and lean back a little bit more. And come up to center. Release your hips down onto your feet. Interlace the fingers, straightening out the arms, lift the heart towards the sky, and then fold forward. Releasing your torso onto your thighs, lifting your hands up and away from the body. This will bring opening and space into the shoulder. Keep pressing your hands towards the sky. Releasing your hands down onto your back. Lift the heart back to center and lift your heart towards the sky. One more time. Feel the opening in the heart and the opening in the chest. You can release your hands, creating a little bowl with your feet so that your hip bones or your sit bones can sit right in between your heels. And start to walk your hands back, maybe come down onto your forearms. Just whenever you start to feel a stretch down the quadriceps. Keep pressing your knees into the earth. And breathing space and oxygen into the thighs. When this starts to feel complete for you, walk the hands back up to center. Bring both legs so they're extended straight out in front of you. Sitting up tall, inhale, float the arms to the sky. Exhale, start to fold forward. So think about this hinge coming out of the hip crease. So you're almost reaching up out of the hips and folding forward. Again, being mindful of the low back. If you feel any tightness or pinching, ease off this pose. Sitting back up to center, moving into head to knee pose. Bring your right foot to your inner thigh. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale, folding over the left thigh. So relaxing your hands down onto your foot or onto the shin or onto the mat, whatever is available to you. Come back up to center. Bring the left foot onto the inner thigh. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. So we're hinging at the hip crease. Think about bringing your belly towards your thigh. And listening to the body. Slowly come back up to center. Roll down all the way onto your back. Keep the knees bent, soles of the feet are pressed into the mat. And on your inhale, start to lift the hips towards the sky. Bring the hands together underneath the body, interlace the fingers. Keep the thighs at hip width distance. And press your hips higher, squeeze the glutes. Feel the compression in the throat area. Keep lifting your hips higher. And slowly start to release your hips to the mat. Release the hands. Then we'll bring the hands out to a T position, palms facing down. Lift the hips and shift them over to the left. Bring your shins up towards the sky, and with control, bring your knees over to the right. And if you'd like to, you can bring your gaze over to the left fingertips. Relaxing into this reclining spinal twist. Feeling a gentle compression in the organs, in the abdomen. Bring the gaze back to center and bring your knees all the way back to center. Release your feet to the mat and shift your hips over to the right. Lift the shins so they're parallel to the sky. And with control, using your core, release your legs over to the left. And bringing the gaze over to the right fingertips. And feeling the gentle compression, even imagining your organs of the abdomen being massaged gently. And taking some full deep breaths as we hold this posture. Bring the gaze back to center, bring the legs back to center. Release your feet onto the mat, realign the spine. And then we'll lift the right foot up towards the sky, keep a bend in the right leg, and option to grab onto the outer edge of the right foot or the inner edge of the right foot, whatever's more comfortable for you. Start to bring the right foot over to the right, opening up the hip. Take a few deep cleansing breaths as we hold. Start to bring your right foot back to center, and we'll move into the other side. Grabbing onto the outer or the inner edge of the left foot. Keep a bend in your left knee as you bring your leg over to the left. Feel the opening in the hip. Breathing into that space. Allow your breath to be deep and full, cleansing the body. When when that feels complete for you, release your foot. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze, maybe even lifting up the nose towards the knees. And if it feels good, gently rocking side to side. From here, extending both the legs, extending the arms, release them down beside the body. Moving into your final Shavasana. Closing the eyes if that's comfortable for you. And letting go of any tension in the body. Taking this time to be completely relaxed. Allow the heart to be soft. Allow the hips to be relaxed. And letting go of any tension in the legs, the ankles, and the feet. Softening the arms, the forearms, the wrists, all the way out into the palms of the hands, out through the fingertips. Softening the jaw, release any tension in the cheeks to the forehead. And slowly waking up the body, start by circling the ankles and the wrists. And then inhale, take a big stretch as you reach your arms up overhead, maybe pointing the toes. And at your own pace, rolling over to your right side, pausing in the fetal position, taking this nice and slow as we transition out of Shavasana. Taking as much time as you need to in our fetal position. Whenever you're ready, start to make your way into a comfortable seated position. Bring hands to heart center. Close the eyes if that's comfortable for you. Take a full deep breath and bow the forehead. Think about all of the light and the beauty in your life. I'd like to thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.